What's up guys, welcome to Achieve Academy, the tutoring service for your success, and today we'll be tackling compound interest. By the end of today's video, you should be able to understand how compound interest works, along with when and where you use it, in exams or in real life. If you weren't aware, compound interest is the interest accumulated from a principal sum and previous accumulated interest. It is the result of reinvesting or retaining interest that would otherwise be paid out or of the accumulation of debts from a borrower. In this lesson, we will focus on solving the appreciation and depreciation of money over time by using examples and exam techniques. With compound interest, the amount of money is increased by the same amount for a set number of years, unless we are told otherwise. The number of years that the money compounds for is represented by putting the number to the power. For example, if we wanted to know what £1,000 was compounded for 10 years at a rate of 5% per annum, we would write 1,000 times 1.05 to the power of 10, which equals 1,628.89. Our total interest earned is the new amount minus the old amount, giving us £628.89. We will now have a go at trying to do some maths exam questions. The exam questions are taken from Maths Genie. If you want to use Maths Genie in any of your further revision coming for your GCSEs, I highly advise it, and we'll put a link down to the website down below. It is important that we highlight the important aspects of the question when answering exam questions. As studies have shown, students who highlight information given to them receive 10% higher on the end of year exams than students who don't. In question 1, Jessie invests £8,000 for n years into a savings account. To find the value V of her investment after n years, she uses the formula V equals 8,000 times 1.025 to the power of n. Write down the annual rate of interest Jessie earns. B. Find the total amount of interest Jessie earns in 3 years. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you have finished the question. So, when it comes to percentages, 1 equals 100%, as many of you may know. 1.1 would mean 10% higher than 100%, 1.2, 20% higher, and so on. We are given 1.025, meaning our annual rate of interest must equal 2.5%. Question B asks us to find the total amount of interest Jessie earns in 3 years. As we know our n value of 3 years, we sub 3 into the equation of V equals 8,000 times 1.025. This would give us £8,615.13p. As we use the equation new minus old, we have the total amount of £615.13. And that would be our final answer for the total amount of interest Jessie earns in 3 years. In question 2, Perry invests 25 grand for 3 years into a savings account. She gets 2.7% per annum compound interest. Calculate the total amount of interest Perry will get after 3 years. If we highlight the important information, we know we must use this equation again, but subbing in the numbers Perry uses. 25 grand times 1.027 to the power of 3 equals 27 grand and 80 pounds 17 pence. We do new minus old to receive £2,080 and 17 pence, totaling the amount of interest Perry will get after 3 years. In your exams, you will also be expected to know what depreciation means. With an investment, such as a car or a house, as they are the most common examples, it is possible for an asset to lose value over time. £1,000 depreciated for 10 years at a rate of 5% per annum would equate to £1,000 times 0.95 to the power of 10, equaling £598.74. For depreciation, you do old minus new as it is the opposite of appreciation, equaling £401.26p lost. We'll now do some exam questions on depreciation. Have a go, pause the video and unpause when you've completed. So, Greg bought a new car for £18,000. In the first year, the value of the car depreciated by 30%. In the second and third year, the car depreciated by 14%. Work out the value of the car after 3 years. We will first have to find out the total amount after 1 year. £18,000 times 0.7 equals £12,600. We then do £12,600 times 0.86 to the power of 2, giving us £9,318.96p. In question 7. In question 2, Nick has bought a new car. The car depreciates in value by 12% each year. Work out the number of years it takes for the car to halve in value. As we do not know how much Nick spent on his car, we only know how much it depreciates each year. If it depreciates by 12%, we must time any original amount by 0.88. We list 0.88 down in the column to powers of 1, 2, 3 all the way down until 0.88 to a power equals less than 0.5, which is a half. As you can see by the column, 0.88 to the power of 5 is nearly there, but not enough. So the answer must be 0.88 to the power of 6, which is 0.4644 carrying on. Therefore, it must take 6 years for Nick's car to depreciate by half. In some cases, you may be told that the interest is simple, meaning the interest charge on borrowing is calculated using the original amount only and an interest rate that never changes. Therefore, it never ends up compounding. For example, £1,000 of simple interest for 10 years at a rate of 5% per annum would find out 1,000 times 1.05 to equal £1,050, equaling our total interest earned of £50. We then times £50 by 10, plussing to our original £1,000 to equal £1,500. Our total interest earned is still new minus old, giving us £500 in interest earned. You will never usually see in the real world simple interest, as compound interest over a longest period of time outweighs any simple interest. These are the hardest exam questions you will probably ask on compound interest. As compound interest is a grade 4 skill, it is a crossover question between the highest bit of foundation and the lower bit of higher. Have a go, pause the video and unpause when you completed the questions. So, Alice is going to invest some money for 5 years. She can choose from 2 options. Investment A, 2.7% compound interest per annum, or investment B, 2.8% simple interest per annum. Which investment should Alice choose? You must show your working. We simply use the compound interest equation as we did in the very first question. 1.027 to the power of 5 equals 1.142 carrying on. 14.2% is the amount of interest Alice would receive if she went with investment A. If she went with investment B, however, we use the simple interest equation. 2.8 times 5 equals 14, and 14.2% is higher than 14%, so Alice should choose investment A. For question 2, Matt wants to invest £8,000 for 3 years. He can choose between Bank A and Bank B. Bank A pays 1.2% compound interest per annum, and Bank B pays 2% compound interest for the first year and 1% compound interest for each extra year. Which bank will give Matt the most interest after 3 years? You must show your working. So, Bank A pay 1.2% compound interest per annum. 8,000 times 1.012 to the power of 3 equals £8,291.47. Bank B paid 2% for the first year, giving us £8,160. We then times that by 1.01 to the power of 2 to give us £8,324.02. As Bank B gives us a higher number after the end of 3 years, Matt should use Bank B to have the most interest after 3 years. And that, my friends, is the end of the video. Thank you if you've stuck around to the end, it means a lot. If I could ask you to like and subscribe, as that would help the channel massively and help us grow. If you need tutoring services in around Greater Manchester, please go to the Instagram and the TikTok, message me, and I'll be happy to help you out. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and enjoy.